Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Parthers One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Parthers One can work for your business.
Welcome to The Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's The Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
And we're so glad that you could join us. We are two busy blondes wearing red. We have a Boudreaux, a Tullier, a doctor, and a singer-songwriter. So we're really excited because we're just going to throw a little bit in the mix. We're going to learn about a little Cajun spice with our cousin Larry Boudreaux. And then we're going to talk with a martial arts specialist who has two different locations for all types of family-friendly fun and summer camps, and that's Jacky Tullier with American Family Martial Arts. And then we're going to learn a little bit more about what this month's awareness is in our
Esophageal Cancer Awareness Month. We've got Dr. Keith Rhynes joining us in our medical segment that's brought to you by Mirabel Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, and Abby Leigh. You've heard her on our sister station, the Tiger 100.7 FM. So she's a singer-songwriter, and she's going to play us some tunes, and we're going to talk about her show and some other shows coming up where you might be able to hear her play some music.
That's right. She's beautiful and she's fun, and we're looking forward to her being our guest closer to the end of the show. But we're starting off in the Parthers One studio through Pelican Broadcasting, and you can hear us and watch us on KWLA 103.1 FM as well as Talk 107.3 FM. And we're just so glad you could be with us with a Boudreaux and a Tullier and a doctor and a singer. So welcome, cousin Larry Boudreaux. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Are you really Betsy's cousin? I'm just saying.
He's everybody's cousin.
I'm everybody's cousin. Don't you know that all Cajuns are cousins?
Okay.
I mean, really.
We really are related.
Have you ever talked to a Cajun and you tell them what your last name is? They say, oh, yeah, I got one of those in my family. Uh-huh. They all can. And really, there wasn't that many Cajuns when they started out. So from there, we grew.
Mm-hmm. So you have really made a business out of just being you. With the spices, the Cajun spices, your wife has done some incredible cookbooks. You have joke books. And you're actually going to do a little kitchen demonstration here. You're going to show us how to make something tasty while you're here, which I think is really valuable to everyone.
It must be pretty easy because my wife let me do it.
I've known you for a long time, and you've had some really delicious spice mixes. Why don't you share a little bit about how you got started in the packaging spice business, and then kind of where people can find you and how they can partake?
Well, to start with, I actually started writing books. And then one day I decided I wanted to retire. But the books, I wasn't selling enough books to be able to retire. So I decided, well, we're going to come up, what do Cajuns like to do besides laugh and have fun? Well, they like to eat. So I came up with a line of food. And of course, Cousin Boudreaux, because like we said earlier, everybody's got a Cousin Boudreaux. Mm-hmm. They might not want to admit it, but they got one. Mm-hmm. So then we developed it. Now, as far as how we market it and how you can buy it, around the Baton Rouge area, you can go to Oak Point in Central. Or you can go, I have a little store down here on, what's the name? What's the name of that street, baby? Anyway, I have another little store. You can go to the website, I'll show you what it is. But my website, www.cousinboudreaux.com, you can get anything that we have. You can even get some videos, explain to you how to fix them. Yeah. And if you don't want to pay shipping, just buy 6 or more, and it's free shipping.
That's really nice.
Not 6 or more, $30 or more.
$30 or more.
It's 8 or more.
So you have a lot of different Cajun spice packets of different types of flavors of things. So you can name some of the things you can make with it. Dips, you can do these spicy crackers.
I've got 27 different products. I want to test you. I'm not going to test you first because you said you can't handle heat.
Can't handle heat? Oh, man, I'm your heat girl. My husband says that I eat way too much.
You wearing your big girl pants today?
I don't know. Is this going to set me on fire like my jacket? My face is going to be the same color as my jacket?
Just has a little cayenne in it.
Okay.
This is what we call our Cajun Firecracker.
I probably should have had her bring me that drink up here. Drink.
That's really good. That's very tasty.
It is great.
Easy to make. And so how do you make these?
Well, you put canola oil in with the seasoning. We have it down there. And you just rotate it. You don't have to bake it or anything. And eventually it all absorbs, and it's good for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months.
Wow.
So you can give it as a gift in a tin, like a cookie tin, or just
that or
in this
handy
dandy Ziploc bag, just any kind of way you want to share it. But everything you have has a different flavor. And how many different mixes do you have?
Well, we have 27 mixes, but we also have five crackers. And we have gumbo, jambalaya, all the normal Cajun stuff, as well as about 9 different dips.
So you sell the crackers already done, or you have 5
you buy the
spice
mix, but
things,
it
and
only
then
takes
you make it with your crackers?
Only takes a few
Got it.
minutes to do it yourself. Mm-hmm. So
That's a lot of product.
it is. So if you don't like one, there's got to be another one that you do like.
So if you're wimpy and you can't handle this pepper
This is
one,
actually
there's
very
something
good.
for you. It
Well,
is.
actually, if you can't handle that one, and some people can't, we have what they call a ranch. It's the same.
Everybody loves that.
Same
don't they?
exact cracker, except no pepper. So if you like that flavor and don't like the heat, go for it.
And that'd be good for little kids too.
And of course,
yeah.
I'm all about an easy dip mix.
Well,
this
this is not your normal dip. This is
it's not?
this is a sweet dip.
Oh,
Does
it go good on my cayenne pepper to cool it off?
Well, actually, you do that, and then you eat that, and it cools it down because it's got the sugar in it. What this is Creole cheesecake.
Creole cheesecake.
Creole cheesecake. Can you imagine what that probably tastes like?
Probably good. You gonna make it for us?
I'm going to make it for you. What we've started off with is 1/3 cup of sour cream.
Okay.
And now we have 8 ounces of, in this case, whipped cream cheese.
Right.
And we're going to take it and we're going to mix it together.
So I want to know, when did your wife let you start being in the kitchen and you just took over?
She only lets me do it sometimes. And that's only on holidays.
And the question is, do you make a mess in there?
No, actually, I make less of a mess than she does.
Okay.
Well, no man was ever shot doing the dishes. I'm just saying. Yeah, there's nothing that's sexier than a man in an apron with a broom.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're right. Forget about the flowers and the perfume.
That's right. I think a man that's helping around the kitchen, helping around the house is a good man to find. So the cookbooks are really, as you were saying before, kind of a compilation of all your wife's family recipes. And, you know, we take so for granted Cajun and Creole cooking, but it's so much a part of our culture. But people all around the world love it so much that, you know, it's like the popular cool thing,
Yeah.
you know, anywhere. I mean, I lived in Okinawa, Japan for a period of time, and they actually had a Cajun restaurant. I did
That's
not
kinda
eat
crazy.
anything there because I was sure it wasn't going to be, you know, like home.
Right.
You know, but it's interesting to see how people have their own take on what we take so for granted.
For sure.
So you got your
How long did that take to make?
like second.
Well, I need to add the flavor into it.
Uh-oh, where's the flavoring? We need the assistant.
The cheesecake.
We need the cheesecake. Oh, look, we got hands-on help
Look-
right
look
here.
at-
That's
look at
right.
Thank you
this.
so much.
And he works cheap, too.
Look, you saw it here first. Cajun cheesecake.
All right. So in your cookbooks, do they involve? Are they general recipes, or do they all involve one of your spice blends?
None of them involve my...
None of them. Okay.
No. This is
So this is the easy way, and that's the
traditional way.
More full recipe.
Yes, that's right. You got your box mix with the spices, and you got your from scratch in the cookbook.
Right.
Okay.
Which I'm willing to bet there's nothing bad in any of it. I know it's delicious.
Well-
When you go to a lot of fairs and festivals and shows and different things too, and set up tables,
Yeah.
and people buy hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of your mixes.
Well, you know, I had to go to the doctor this week. And when I went, and this is a true story, when I went, the nurses all came in and gave me little sticky notes of how many spices they want.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And when I left, I looked at it and it was 110 packs.
Wow.
Wow.
That'll cover your deductible and everything.
So I want to know about the joke books. Okay.
Yeah,
So
those
when
are
did
some
you
good
start
joke
on the
books.
joke books? And do you have a favorite that you want to
Well,
tell
let's
us?
see. A long time ago, when I was a young man,
You're still a young man.
anytime I ever told anybody my name, they would say, "Oh, have you heard about Boudreaux and Thibodeau?" Yeah? And they say, "Well, let me tell you about Boudreaux and Thibodeau." And some of them would almost apologize because they didn't know if it was off color or whatever. And I said, "No, I enjoy them as much as anybody." Well, I did. In fact, I was a salesman, and I needed to have some good, clean jokes to pass to my customers. So I started writing them down. And then one day I decided to print them all and go down, and I figured out that they would cost me about $5 a piece, and I didn't know anybody worth $5, so I figured that maybe I better just go ahead and publish the book and sell it. Well, the first book sold pretty good. Second book sold pretty good. Third book, I wound up selling almost 30,000 copies.
30,000 copies?
Yeah,
Wow. So they caught on.
they caught on.
Yeah. So what are we going to do with this mixture
We're
now?
going to eat.
We're gonna
Now
eat?
we're going to eat it?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Now you can take this, and this is a vanilla wafer.
So we can just dip it?
Yeah, just dip it.
And so you got your seasoning mix, you got your cream cheese, you got your sour cream.
Does that taste like a cheesecake? Is it real?
You're not going to take that bowl home with you, are you?
You can. Well, as long you can have the innards, but I have to have the bowl. That's my wife's bowl.
Okay. Well,
Now-
if you're interested in any spices, cookbooks, you need to go to Cousin Larry's. I'm sorry, Larry Boudreaux
CousinBoudreaux.com.
is under Cousin Boudreaux. And everybody here knows how to spell Boudreaux. I mean, come on. And you need to think about what you're going to send to your mom that lives out of town or your family members, and go ahead and order a cookbook and a joke book and have a good time with that. And he's on Facebook, he's on the website, and we're going to share some of the other things with you on our Facebook for Rocket Right Entertainment.
So this was the cooking segment. We'll be back with the joke segment in our future segment when you come join us. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
right.
And so up next, Beth.
Up next, we are going to talk about martial arts and how you can be from a little tyke all the way up and enjoy some good fun with American. That's right. And she might even show us a kick with Jacky Tullier with American Family Martial Arts. We're going to be right back.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrw-region1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks, we're ready for your adventure.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Parthers One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Parthers One can work for your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
Rocket Right. I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes here with Dr. K. Solar. And you know, Boudreaux Thibodeau, Boudreaux Tullier. So we are we're continuing our theme of wonderful people that you need to know and yes. A lot of fun you can have. And summer's coming up. Summer camps, or everybody's kind of looking like, you know, with all the COVID precautions and everything else, where can I put my kids? What kind of physical activity might I want to do? How can I help my elderly parents defend themselves? A lot of great things. Right. So I'm so glad that you can come. You're a sure. Parthers One member, as we are, coming from right. the Parthers One studio. So Jacky Tullier, how did you and your husband get started doing this? And what can we get people involved in to help them be healthier and stronger?
Well, the story is my husband was doing martial arts. I joined the school where he was training. I had a very stressful job, and so I could go punch things instead of people.
Yeah. Okay. I like this already.
Yeah. And I could also...
Betsy says enroll me tomorrow.
Yeah,
yeah that's right.
Yes. So I could actually punch people as well as, you know, kicking shields. We weren't married at the time, and that is how we met. So he was one of my instructors. We no longer allow that, so so everybody's good.
Yeah. So you have small children, 3 and 4-year-olds.
Yes.
And there's some benefits to small kids. So let's talk a little bit about the wee children.
The wee children.
Yes. So we don't want them to hit each other. We just want them to learn a little discipline.
Right. Well, we call our 3 and 4-year-old program are the Tiny Tigers. Mm-hmm. And actually, one of the things we specialize in, and Dr. K may know more about this, is age-specific curriculum. Mm-hmm. So 3-year-olds, they want to please their parents. But they don't have vocabulary. They've only been speaking English for about 3 years and hearing it. And so when they punch you, that's actually their way of saying hello, or I like you, or I think you're cute, or whatever they want to say. So we do start with 3 and 4-year-olds who are in their own class, and it's about 30 minutes. One of the funny things I learned about 3 and 4-year-olds, they actually have very weak cores. So a lot of the activities we do are working on strengthening their core. So perhaps they're standing on one leg doing balance kicks, and that strengthens their leg and their core. And then, of course, we continue that. I have my notes. So one of the things our program does is we have stripes. So every class they come to, they're going to earn a stripe. So, for instance, tiny tigers might be working on the yellow stripe, which is crawling. So we make it fun. So it's a game, because we learn better when we're having fun. Like listening to Larry, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I paid attention. I was engaged. Just like I'm sure you've been to a few dry lectures in your day.
Oh, only a few.
So, just a few. But you probably remember the speakers that were more interesting.
Absolutely.
As well as their material. So with crawling, maybe the other kids make a tunnel and they crawl under them, or they're doing a relay race and crawling. So again, that strengthens the core. They're having fun. They don't know they're learning.
Right.
And then they feel a sense of accomplishment when they accomplish whatever, and then that makes them feel good. So
exactly. So each class, whether they're 3, they're 10, or 14, they get a stripe. So we get them warmed up, they do a mat chat, they do skills and drills, so the crawling, and they have a little tiny mini test, don't have to get anxious about it, and they get a stripe on their belt. And people love that. The kids
love that. I still have my boys' little belts with all their little stripes around them.
Yes.
And they're like special trunks.
So on your summer camp programs, how early do they start? Are they a week long? Because I think parents are listening to this thinking, yeah, that sounds like they take very good care of the children, keep them engaged. And tell us a little bit about your camp, since people are trying to kind of sign up now.
That would be great if they signed up. So we have, this year, we're only doing 3 camps. So 2 of them are weapons camps, and they're going to learn nunchucks and staff in one of the
I bet they love that.
From what ages are those?
Well, that particular, the weapons camp are for 7 to however old you want them to be.
They can feel like a Power Ranger.
Yes. They can. Or the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that one more.
Yeah.
And there's our flyer.
We want to scroll through some of these photos that we have.
I sent Betsy a lot of pictures.
Yes, and we're going to share those pictures on our Facebook too.
Okay, so here this child is breaking a board. That's about perseverance and a little bit of courage. But perseverance, because even adults will look at boards and go, oh no, I can't break that. And so it's about carrying through. Maybe you don't break it the first time, but you break it the second time. And I'm going to tell you, I should have brought a board. Board breaking is the coolest thing ever.
Okay, we'll have you back so that we can see who can break it the fastest, me or Betsy.
This is actually a flexibility exercise. This is a core class, so it's our 7 to 9-year-olds.
And you have 2 locations. You have Baton Rouge and Prairieville, so people
Correct.
can reach you from across the greater Baton Rouge area, not just specific to Baton Rouge.
Yes. Our Prairieville location is across the street from Frank's, which is a Parthers One member. Again, this is a flexibility exercise as well as some focus, different rings. I'm pretty sure that's core, which is our 7 to 9-year-olds. Apparently, I sent you all flexibility pictures.
Wow, so you could learn to do the splits right there, I can see.
Yes, we work on that. It's one of the stripes that age group has. Now, this is one of our little ninjas, which is our 5 and 6-year-olds, and he's looking at the stripes on his belt. And I love this picture. It's one of my all-time favorites. And that's my husband, not the short kid, but the guy in the back.
The guy that's coming sideways out of the wall,
yes,
right?
Yes, that's him. So we do a thing when we have new students. So this is parents working with their little ninjas in class. They're doing forms, forms can be very meditative and relaxing. They're harder than they look, so we have the parents work with the kids on the floor, so one, they get to experience, it's not as easy as it looks. And then when their children want help at home, they can work with them a little bit more.
So this is experiential learning, which will have a better memory retention. And when the parents have done it, that might be something fun. Hey, Mom, let's do this, or Dad, let's do this. Remember we did that? That's really kind of a cool bonding, fun thing.
It is. We do have adults who train. In fact, we're getting ready to promote in 2 weeks. Aaron Helton is already a black belt, and he is 13. And his father just made black belt. So Aaron just tested for second-degree black belt, and Paul Helton just tested for black belt. So they're going to be promoted in about 3 weeks.
That's great. That's cool. Do you do self-defense classes for women, men, anybody?
Well, we do it for anybody. We do incorporate it in our 10 and above. Less than that, we're really just teaching them, hurt them and run, scream and run. Older, for instance, if you grab my wrist like this, we're going to teach you how to get out of that.
Because thumbs are weak.
Exactly. You have done this before.
I did do a couple of little classes, but I really need a refresher.
You do. And you need a refresher with us. We have great fun. We break boards. We kick pads. We kick bob.
I think this might be more fun for me than hot yoga.
I have done hot yoga.
Betsy's wondering, is she going to sweat as much? That's the thing.
I don't want to sweat. I just don't want to pass out.
Sweat.
That's all.
It's a different kind of sweat. I've done hot yoga. This is way more fun.
Yeah. So I think that this does look like a lot of fun. And so tell me about some of the things you're doing right now for adults. Do you have like a certain night or is it different classes? Like let's say that somebody...
You're ready to come in.
Yeah.
Certainly. We have adult-only classes, which for us is 15 and above, sometimes 14-year-olds, kind of depends. They have their own classes because, again, we do age-specific training. When we started, we used to put, and Dr. K probably remembers this, if you were a white belt and you were 6, you were in the same class with a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But we don't put 6-year-olds in the same classes with 12-year-olds because intellectually they're way different.
Right.
So we don't do that anymore. But once about 15, we just throw you all together.
I really like your approach to looking at specifically where they are in the way they communicate, where they are in the way that they physically are able to do different things, where they feel they've won. It's a sense of accomplishment. And it's not setting them up kind of for failure, because it is intimidating to walk into a class or walk into a school and you see people at different levels moving at different paces, and at first you're going to walk in and go, no matter whether you're 3 or 53, you're not going to walk in and go, I can do that. You know, you're going to be like, I kind of hope I can.
I don't know, you might.
We get those too.
Yeah.
But
so if people want to know how to find you, the best way to look at your schedule, your camps, and all the different programs is to call you, and you can call, but of course the website has more information.
Right. Our website is www.americanfamilyma.com, but our phone number 272-KICK.
Oh, that's good.
How easy to
272-KICK. 225-272-KICK.
Yeah.
So I
That's
love that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think we need to come and do a little, try it out.
We could do a little 12-minute segment on self-defense.
Okay.
I think we should do that,
That will
actually.
kill my husband because he can go for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Betsy and I aren't going to be able to do that. We're going to be like your 15-minute girls.
Our life is in 12-minute segments. That's right. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate it. We hope that everybody will give our Parthers One friends, Larry Boudreaux with Cousin Boudreaux's Cajun Spices, and American Family Martial Arts, just please give them a call. Check out their websites. We love our Parthers One fellow members, and we're going to be right back talking about a few things you need to know about esophageal cancer and some other ways that you can help those that you love. And we're going to be right back on Rocket Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar.
And Dr. Keith Rhynes up next.
That's right.
My biggest concern was my family and being able to see me come home every day and know everything is going to be okay. I felt comfortable that I was being treated by some of the best. There were some scary points along the way, but it's just kind of like been a little blip in the road.
money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. K. Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
Everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics.
health,
Music and entertainment.
local lagna.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Cade Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you are interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Cade Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrw region1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit louisianatravel.com and plan your getaway today.
And you're back with the Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. K. Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and our medical segment is brought to you each week by Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, and we are so glad to have with us Dr. Keith Rhynes.
Thank you for having me.
Us.
Thank you.
Dr. Rhynes is a surgeon, and he's been here a long time, as long as I've been here. Might even
5 years, right? 5 years?
5 years. Yeah, that's it. That's right. We just finished school, and we just moved to town. They say, no, that's a lie. I'm sorry. How long has it been? It's been
22.
I was going to say, yeah.
22 years.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Lots changed. Lots developed. A lot in healthcare.
So he's taking care of a lot of folks during this time. I've worked with him for all of those years, seeing patients, consulting over at Women's Hospital. He's at Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, and we're focusing today because April is Esophageal Cancer Awareness Month. And so just talk about that disease a little bit. I'm just going to open up the floor for you.
All right. So I think most people know what the esophagus is. It's that muscular tube that connects our throat into our stomach, and we swallow, the food goes down there. It contracts and pushes the food down, so it's obviously important.
Yes.
The esophagus has a propensity to develop a malignancy. There are multiple layers of the esophagus. The esophageal cancer forms on the inner lining of the esophagus and then subsequently starts to grow out through the other walls of the esophagus. Unfortunately, it can grow into the surrounding structures, which can be the lungs, the liver, blood vessels, etc. So it's a difficult cancer to treat. but we've made a lot of progress over the last 10 or so years.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about some of that a little bit later on, but if somebody's listening, they go, well, I mean, how would you even know that you thought you might have esophageal cancer? What are some of the signs and symptoms that someone could be experiencing that would let them think, oh, I bet I need to check that out?
So the first symptom that a patient may experience is a difficulty in swallowing. They may feel like their food, their sandwiches, their bread is getting caught within their chest when they swallow. In advanced stages, even liquids can get caught. Some patients may have anemia. They may see some blood in their bowel movements as these things slowly start to bleed. Some of the symptoms are very, very, very subtle. Weight loss, unfortunately, can be a symptom of an advanced stage. But swallowing dysfunction is primarily is the first symptom that should present.
So do they ever have a sore throat that's associated with this, or is that uncommon?
That's actually uncommon. The sore throat is usually from the reflux that they may be experiencing, which then, as we'll talk about later, increases their rate of developing esophageal cancer.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those risk factors since you brought that up.
So there's actually two types of esophageal cancer. The most common back when we were training was called squamous cell carcinoma. Risk factors for that are genetics, alcohol, and tobacco. Patients who mistakenly drank some caustic fluids like lye. The second most, and now the most common type of esophageal cancer is called adenocarcinoma. And the risk factors for that, also genetics, alcohol, tobacco, obesity, which increases your rate of reflux. Reflux is probably the fastest growing risk factor for developing esophageal cancer. Reflux, when the acid contents of your stomach reflux back up into your esophagus, and the esophagus just doesn't like that. So it burns it, and slowly the cells begin to change into premalignant cells and then subsequently a malignant cell.
Now, do you think that the increased rates of obesity in the country, and so increased rates of probably reflux due to that, is why we're seeing more adenocarcinomas than the squamous as in the past?
That's 100% accurate. That's correct.
Wow.
So
That's
could it
crazy.
be just poor diet, overly processed foods, those types of things? Or would it help if someone was overweight, if they found out maybe they were diabetic or something like that, they had another comorbidity or another, thing that maybe they're just not even aware of?
So processed food is actually a risk factor as well as smoked foods.
You mean like smoked sausage and ribs? And
Yes, Betsy.
Right.
I know.
I know.
I gotta ask.
I like smoked salmon. I was like, I'm being so healthy. I'm eating smoked salmon, and then I said, the smoking is not so good for you.
So,
Yeah,
but that's
even though
a
you're
risk
eating healthy
factor for
fish.
sure.
But you'd have to ingest a lot, it would seem.
Absolutely, and it's just the nitrates within the meat. So.
So when we're talking about those risk factors, and somebody says, well, like, can you prevent yourself from ever having it?
Yes.
Let's talk about the prevention.
So prevention, reduction in alcohol, reduction in tobacco, avoiding becoming obese. If you begin to have reflux type symptoms, heartburn, go see your gastroenterologist, get put on the proper medications, have them do an endoscopy to treat you medically for your reflux. Again, that's the most common risk factor that's increasing in the world. And so if we can treat that medically before it becomes premalignant, then that's a huge step in preventing it.
Right. So many folks, they just don't realize, we've talked about it on a lot of things, as that being overweight really increases your risk of so many things.
Correct.
As it does this one. But now let's say somebody's diagnosed with esophageal cancer. You talked about we've come a long way as far as advancements in the treatment for this.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
So once it's diagnosed, the treatment diagnosis of esophageal cancer is a team approach. It's usually picked up by primary care, gastroenterologist, and then you begin staging with CAT scans and PET scans. Unfortunately, the majority are a little bit more advanced, so the majority do not go to surgery first. The majority will then go to the medical oncologist to get chemotherapy, followed by radiation. So now we've got a team of primary care, gastroenterologists, medical oncologists, radiation oncology, and then about 6 to 8 weeks after the radiation is completed, that's where the surgeons get involved to remove the tumor, which 25 years ago was a pretty morbid, difficult procedure, which we did, and the patients did well. Now in 2021, we can do most of these procedures, if not all, robotically, minimally invasive. Mm-hmm. Surgeons being the thoracic surgeons, Dr. Nick LeBlanc, Dr. Emily Cassidy, and the abdominal surgeons, Dr. John Lyons and myself. We can do this robotically through 3 or 4 small holes in the abdomen, 3 to 4 small holes in the chest. The surgery is real. People hear that, oh, you've got these small incisions, but you actually remove the entire esophagus and bring the stomach up into the chest.
Yeah, people don't realize you got a couple of small holes, but
Right.
all the same big work
Right.
was done on
It's
the
the same-
inside. You just don't have the big incision
That's
to
correct.
show for it.
But it's a lifesaver, and it seems that it would be reducing the amount of time that they would have to recover.
Oh,
You know.
it's they will go home in 5 to 6 days compared to 2 to 3 weeks.
That's
It's
a huge
It's a
difference.
huge difference. So they get back to their jobs quicker. They get back to their families quicker. And they're just doing better from an oncology cancer survival standpoint.
And the reason that they have to have, most of them are picked up later. Maybe the symptoms are very subtle, so they don't present until they have
Correct.
advanced disease. And then you have to do the chemo and radiation. Is it to reduce the size of the tumor to make
Correct.
it more amenable to surgery?
Correct.
Is
So
that
keep-
why that's needed in advance?
Absolutely. So the oncologists, the medical oncologists at Mary Bird Perkins will give chemotherapy, which will then treat systemically, which will treat any esophageal cancer cell that's floating around anywhere else.
Mhm.
And that's followed by the radiation oncologists at Mary Bird Perkins, who will treat locally to reduce the local invasion. And then again, 6 weeks later, once the after effects of the radiation have kind of resolved, then that's when we get involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, because I know people have in their brains, they'll be, I want that robot surgery. And they just feel like there's a robot doing their surgery. And talk a little bit more, like if somebody's seeing that, oh, they offer robotic surgery. Is Dr. Rhynes doing that surgery, or is there some robot in there? And is his name Da Vinci? Talk about that.
So
I mean, it's true.
That's true. It's a
Because
very-
when you see advertisements, it's very confusing.
Right.
So
That's a very
we don't
common
have
question.
much time, but I want you to explain that.
It's a very common question. So the Da Vinci robot is the most common device that we use to do these types of procedures. So simply what happens is the patient is put to sleep. We put these small little instruments in the abdomen. We connect the instruments to the arms of the robot. And then we go sit down in a very nice, comfortable chair looking at a almost 4D monitor, and we can control the instruments with our hands and our feet, and we can really get into small areas. We can do small little maneuvers that we just couldn't do, as you remember.
Right, you just
with our
couldn't do
laparoscopic instruments.
With laparoscopic instruments, or even if you're in there, like with the person open, you can just get in such little spaces more delicately around those structures that are around the esophagus, which are very important.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's much more precise.
Absolutely.
Which then your precision reduces the complications, which allows for a better cancer procedure.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mary Bird Perkins always does such a great job with working with patients from the very beginning to the screening, the diagnosis, and then holding their hand through it. And we're always fascinated with what you're
There's
able to do.
dietitians,
Mhm.
there's pharmacists, there's patient navigators.
Well, all those things that help you have not just a better recovery, but a less chance for recurrence.
Correct.
Yes.
Because if you adjust your diet and some of those things that are risk factors, you can have a less chance of that recurring. So if y'all are listening, you want to know more, you can go to marybirdlake.org/esophageal. And thank you so much for being our guest, Dr. Keith
Thanks for having us.
Rhynes.
Thanks for letting us bring this
We are
out to the
glad
public.
that you came and have such great expertise.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, and up next, Miss Abby Leigh playing us some music, so don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen and Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Kay Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you're interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Kay Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks, we're ready for your adventure.
I had a meeting with Dr. Barfield and it kind of just hit me. It probably is cancer. After the surgery, I wasn't scared anymore. I was looking forward to getting started with chemo. Not one time did I get a nurse in a bad mood. I was here for 5 hours at a time and I did not dread coming. To get people from around the country to come to Baton Rouge, that says a lot right there. That this place is cutting edge.
The Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and we are so glad to have with us Miss Abby Leigh.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you for joining us. You've probably heard Abby on 100.7 The Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So, off the record.
Yes.
With Abby Leigh and Brittany Rose.
We have a show together, Brittany Rose and I, and it's unique because it's an all-female show, kind of like y'all's. And just like in the country genre, which is very rare, and it's an afternoon drive slot, so it's super cool, it's very fun, and we're friends, and it works, and all the things.
Y'all have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
That's how we started. There's not a lot of women. There's no 2 women in talk radio. There really isn't. And I think women need to be in talk, country, in every single genre because
I think so too.
I think that most of the listeners are women. You know, I really do.
So let's back up and tell us a little bit about how you got into radio and a little of your backstory so that folks know.
So I have been in music my whole life and I wanted to work in the music industry. And when I went to UL, that's where I graduated from, and I was an education major for a year and I hated it because I was like, there aren't enough jobs in the music industry, so I didn't know if I could like make it, you know?
Right.
And then I hated being an education major, so I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. I told my dad I wanted to switch to broadcast journalism, and he about had a heart attack. And I said I wanted to work in radio, so I had to get an internship when I was a junior in college, and that was at Cumulus Lafayette. That they ended up hiring me part-time, and that transitioned into full-time, and then now I'm here. So
Congratulations, because you're getting to do what you wanted to do.
Exactly. So it worked out, and I'm just like, Dad, like, I know you freaked out, but it's working out. So
They must be very proud.
That is great.
I think they are.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Dallas, but all my family's from here. My dad's from Denham Springs and my mom's from Lafayette. So it was a good home away from home to come here.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so how long have you been playing music? Because folks may hear you chatting on the radio, talking about songs, interviewing artists, but how long, they may not know that you play and write songs too.
So my mom put me in piano lessons when I was 7, and I did choir and theater, and I was a band kid. I played the clarinet, and I was in marching band and everything, and I picked up the guitar when I was in high school, and I started writing songs when I was in high school. The first song I wrote was for an English project. So,
That is very cool. Okay, so our history's kind of like, mimic a little bit, other than like, I'm like 40 years past you. But, so my mom put me in piano when I was like 6 years old. I took piano lessons from my piano teacher, who was 100 at the time I started and 100 when I finished, all through high school. I mean, it was like, but I did enjoy it. I played classical music and stuff, and I was in the band too, but I played flute. But I never got the guitar. To me, that is very difficult. All those chords and strings and finger stuff, like as an adult seeing it, I'm like going, that to me seems like a much more difficult instrument than the piano.
I'm not super great at the guitar, but good enough to get by. That's what I tell people. So, yeah.
Well, so we're going to hear something, right? So tell us, let's not run out of time. Let's let you get the whole song. Tell us a little bit what we're going to hear.
This is called Coming Home. And I wrote this when I was very emotional, and I was actually mad at my bandmates. Like, it was just a weird time. And so, like, I sat down and I started playing, and I wrote this, and I cried, and I sent it to my dad, and he cried. And and it's my best song, I think, that I've ever written.
Cool.
So,
well, let's hear it. Awesome.
Try so hard to fit the mold for the country bars and these old souls. I sing my heart out every night, thought I'd be doing something right. Now they wanna hold me down, I look up to see a stolen crowd. This is not what I thought it'd be. Screaming so loud to just be seen. Oh, mama, I'm coming home. This town just ain't for me anymore. What am I supposed to do? Every time I get a shot, it all falls through. Well, mama, I'm coming home. Those who claim they're wise spit empty promises and lies. Breaking down, where do I turn and keep the smile to hide the hurt? This is not where I thought I'd be. Singing so loud to just be seen. Well, Mama, I'm coming home. This town just ain't for me anymore. And what am I supposed to do? Every time I get a shot, it all falls through. Well, Mama, I'm coming home. Ooh, Mama, come in home. Oh, Mama, I'm coming home. Whoa, this town just ain't for me anymore. What am I supposed to do? Every time I get a shot, it all falls through. Oh, Mama, I'm coming home.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was
All right.
beautiful. Your voice is so crystal clear.
Thank you.
You just have such a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Thank
And the
you.
lyrics
Yeah.
are very moving.
I'm going to record that in a couple of weeks.
Well, I don't think we have but like 30 seconds left. So we want to say last year when COVID hit, you and CJ were supposed to do a Texas show at the Texas
Yes.
Club. It didn't get to happen, but you're going to be there May the 1st. Abby's going to be opening the show. CJ Solar's going to be in from Nashville with a full band, breaking
So
in some
excited.
brand new music. And so make sure y'all check it out, thetexasclub.com. Listen to Abby at 100.7 The Tiger, because she's got some specials and more details. And if you're going to rock it,
Make sure you rock it right.
Woo!
Yes.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Parthers One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Parthers One can work for your business.
Rock It Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar is brought to you by these generous sponsors. Parthers One, better barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts, Advantage Health Solutions with Dr. Boyd Michael Helm, Hightower Dental Concepts with Dr. Leah Larson, City Group Hospitality including City Pork Brasserie and Bar, City Pork Catering, City Slice, City Taco, Rouge Creole, and Beau Soleil.
Talent 360 Consulting with Vicki Little. Jeff Taylor, Realtor and Forester with Whitetail Properties. The 3rd Street Songwriters Festival. Elite Chiropractic with Dr. Ron McMorris. LouisianaIsATrip.com. Take one. Thank you for making our show possible.